All right, so Pierre looks like he was having some sort of a media scrum or speech somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where he is, but he was talking about, his plans for the economy and what he wants to see for the future of Canada. And I think a lot of you are going to gain a lot of hope from this. That's part of why I made this channel. I want people to feel hope for the future. Help is coming. We just have to be a little bit more patient. I know that sucks to hear, but either way, we're gonna get into this. But before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps grow the channel. And I appreciate you guys so much for doing that for me. So let's have a look and then we'll talk about it.
We want this to be, once again, an economy where anybody who works hard can afford a beautiful, safe home with good meat and potatoes on the dinner table every single night, and to do so under our proud flag. I think about how far we've come back in our economy. I was just the other day in PEI, and I was at the coffee shop, and I asked the lady, it wasn't a fancy coffee shop, I said, how much is that espresso machine you've got over there? It's a small little machine. She said it cost $11,000. I was blown away by that. And there's a little old lady on the other side of the counter, and she said, I bought my first house for $9,000 in 1971 in Montreal. And I said to her, well, what did you and your husband make that year? She said, oh, we made about 17 grand. And so it was like 6 months family income could buy you a fully detached house. And now it's more like 10 times family income.
That's crazy. Honestly, when I first heard that, I was like, there's no way a house in Montreal or a Montreal suburb would have been 9 grand in the 70s. But apparently you could actually, it wasn't going to be like a mansion, but yeah, there were houses for, 10 grand or just under. Maybe it was a fixer-upper back then, but that's a pretty great deal. You make 17 grand a year and buy a house for 9. I mean, let's be honest, even if the house was 30 grand, you work for a few months and you can have a down payment. I mean, that's pretty sweet. Must have been nice.
One would think that with all of the technology and the advances, that it would be cheaper to build homes. In fact, the reality is that the cost of housing has gone way down. It's just that the value of our money has gone down much more quickly than that. The purchasing power of our currency has lost its value faster than the costs of things has dropped, and that is why people are paying more. The good news is, because this problem is caused by the government, we know how to solve the problem. We need to undo the things that caused it. And that is exactly what we're proposing, to get the government out of your way and off your back and by your side, working with you rather than against you, unlocking the genius that is in this room and that is in every single business, so that you can unlock the genius and the strength of your workforce, and so that the people who build the homes can actually afford to buy the homes, so that this can be a country that keeps its promise to every single person, that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters where you're going. It doesn't matter who you knew, it matters what you can do. A country that drives itself forward based on merit and performance, a country where businesses get ahead by having the best product, not the best lobbyist, where they work to please customers, not politicians. And with that, I will please all of you by bringing my remarks to an end and thanking you for your support. Let's swing those hammers. Let's build those homes. Let's make our country strong and free. Thank you very much.
One of the very good things about Pierre Poilievre is that he's a very good and clear speaker. When he wants to get out a message, he's very, very good at just communicating it. He's a smooth talker. He barely ever stutters. It's nice to hear someone who really seems like they actually care about Canada and Canadians, and they want to see a middle class that thrives. Markcarney is pretending that's what he wants to trick people, but it's not. Now, again, people say, oh, Pierre's tricking you too. Well, if he is, then we're going to have to figure something out. If it really is true that the Liberals and the Conservatives are this uniparty and they're really the same thing, which I used to think as well, until the Liberal Party started to take things way too far and make things way worse, and the Conservatives have pushed back on it. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to do what they said they're going to do in a campaign, but I think they deserve a chance. If Pierre Poilievre fails, then we're going to have to, get a new party, or I don't know what the future would be. That's kind of a scary thought, but we'll cross that bridge if we ever get there. Hopefully we don't. Hopefully Pierre Poilievre is a man of his word and helps restore this once great country, because we need it. And we don't have another 3-4 years to wait for markcarney, or if markcarney wins another election and it's a majority, I mean, my God. That would be such bad news for all of us. And I think we all know that, but there's a lot of people, especially swing voters, and those are the ones who decide elections, they think this markcarney guy is still doing a pretty good job. Some of them have been having buyer's remorse, but not enough, not yet. I think once another 5-6 months passes, the NDP's got a new leader, but again, a lot of it depends on that trade deal. If he gets a deal done with Trump, markcarney I'm speaking, but if he gets a deal with Trump, I mean, my God, if they're going to paint it as if it's a good deal. And markcarney can call an election, so he could be, like, that could be in the play, in the playbooks rather, because if you're markcarney, you don't really want to have another election when the NDP gets stronger. That's going to hurt you. He also knows he can't wait that much longer, because if he were to say to call one in 2 years, there's going to be 2 years of a sample size, 2 years of things getting worse. That's not going to be good for him. He's going to want to get that deal done and call a snap election if the media, which will probably help him out by glazing over the deal, saying how good it was and all this, and let's be honest, they're going to say it's a good deal whether it is or not. And if Canadians believe that it is, swing voters might say, yep, this was the guy, we were right, sorry Pierre, but we like markcarney. And then not only would markcarney be the prime minister for 4 years if he gets a majority, that would mean Pierre Poilievre is 0-2 in elections. That would probably be the end for him. So, it's kind of like I get a little bit nervous thinking about what could happen, because when that trade deal with Trump happens, I just really hope that a lot of swing voters will pay attention and really look at the deal and see what the conservatives are saying, see what the liberals are saying, and make a decision. But don't just watch mainstream media and believe all this hype that they're going to give markcarney. They're going to glaze over him so hard, it's going to be insane. It's going to be sick to watch. So please share this video. If you know swing voters, if you know young people who don't vote, we need their help, or else we're going to have 4 more years or possibly longer of liberal nonsense.